Hello, it's Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime,
Hello.
where I'm going to tell my husband Bill a story and he's going to help with suggestions. I'll ask him questions and things like that. And by the way, we're looking after 2 dogs at the minute, so if you hear heavy snoring, it's actually not Bill. Yeah, it's like we're looking after a giant piggy. And how are you today, Bill? Sleepy?
I'm very tired. Yeah, it's -1 outside, so it's nice and cosy. But
yes.
I did go to bed late last night, waiting to see if the election thing was done, the American election thing.
Oh dear.
But I didn't. I went to bed.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. And then I woke you up this morning saying, "Come on, let's do the thing."
Yeah, and I'm very tired, so I might not be quite. I'm going to do my best.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I always try my very best.
Of course you do. So what's the character's name?
Gilbert.
Gilbert George. We'll call him Gilbert George, shall we?
Okay, yeah, Gilbert George.
Poochie, stop it. Poochie.
GG, as he's
She's
known
going
to
to
his
scratch
friends.
her head off one day. GG to his friends.
Yeah, Gilbert George.
And what's he
GG.
got to do?
He's got to go to work.
Oh, okay.
Bit boring, but...
Oh. Okay, so Gilbert George, he had to go to work. And it was morning. He was getting ready. Sorry, the dog won't leave herself alone. And he put on his suit, looked at himself in the mirror and said, "Gilbert, you're going to be fine. One day..."
When you're doing that with dogs,
Yeah.
could you go back a bit? Because it's distracting me.
Okay,
We're going to
okay.
have to just leave her scratching because I can't concentrate with you
Yeah.
leaning forward.
Alright. Well, so he got ready for work,
Yep.
got dressed, looked
Yep.
at himself in the mirror
Yep.
and said, "Gilbert, you're going to be fine. One day..."
So he's obviously worried about... He's got something... He's got an issue mentally.
Well, you're
I mean, not a serious issue mentally.
No.
But he's clearly...
suffering in some manner
Yeah.
or other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
picked
well,
that up already.
You see, the thing is, Gilbert doesn't actually know what he's supposed to do for work.
Right.
What he does is he's doing the same thing this morning. He's walking down with the other people who work at this big industrial power station. It's not actually a power station. It used to be a power station, but now it's something else.
Yep.
It's this big work station.
Okay.
He goes to his desk, and at his desk are a load of buttons.
Yep.
And he has to press various buttons in various patterns.
Yep.
And then the green light comes on. Either a green light or a red light comes on.
Yep.
And it's very stressful because Gilbert doesn't actually know what any of it does. And one day, while he was in the coffee room, he said to one of the other workers, who is his mate, Devon, he said to Devon, "So, like, do you know what it is that we're doing?" Devon looked at him with his face was extremely like a nervous mask, he was, and he could tell that just by asking Devon, he'd opened up a huge can of worms that he perhaps wasn't really ready for.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was like, "I don't mean like that I don't know what I'm doing or anything like that. It's just that some of the specific patterns that we have to, do. I sometimes, just wonder about the intricacies of it. I just feel like I'd like to know a bit more." And
so he's trying to find out what he's doing without letting on.
Exactly. He doesn't want
know what he's
anyone.
doing.
Yeah, doesn't want anyone to know that
Yeah.
he's that in the dark.
Like real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
can you please stop the dog? She's doing my head in. So he managed to worm out of that one, and Devon didn't seem any of the wiser, really, or so he thought.
No straight answers from Devon.
No straight answers from Devon. He had to kind of like play it down, and Devon didn't really come out with anything that made any sense.
What does Devon look like?
Devon's made of clay.
Right.
And so Devon just said some very long, kind of convoluted sentences.
Yeah.
And by the time the second word was out of Devon's mouth, the guys... Gilbert. Gigi.
Two friends, yeah.
Was very... He already knew that he didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
So he goes back to his desk.
Yeah.
He continues on another day.
Thinking that Devon.
Yeah.
He's in the same boat as me, probably.
Well, yeah. Or I get the feeling that actually Gilbert feels like everyone's getting secret lessons.
Right, that everyone else knows.
Yeah, everyone else
and doesn't want to let him know.
Exactly.
And he's in the dark.
Yeah.
A bit paranoid then, really.
Potentially
paranoid.
Or it could be true.
Yeah.
So, halfway through the day, while he's working on his button pressing...
And he's not... Gilbert...
Yeah.
He doesn't go home and relax...
No.
By, I don't know, say, taking recreational drugs?
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He just goes home, watches telly, tries to take his mind off it all. He's just relieved that he's got...
quite nightmarish.
Yeah, he's just relieved that he's got through the day.
Yeah.
And he's just got this kind of like sense of dread that he's then got to go through the whole thing again the next day.
Yeah.
Because every time he presses something out of sequence, the red button comes up and his pay is deducted.
Oh, right. Right.
But he doesn't...
Before.
No, but he doesn't really know what will stop that from happening.
Yeah. So, okay.
So, but anyway, halfway through this particular day...
Yeah.
The boss comes in and says, right, everyone line up, it's time to check your dreams. So they all stand up.
Check your dreams?
Yeah.
What do you mean check your dreams?
They need to make sure that everything's ticking along and that nobody's being subversive and, you know. So...
check your dreams.
Yes, they've got to check their dreams.
Dreams hasn't been mentioned. I've missed something, have I? The dreams been mentioned?
No, dreams haven't been mentioned, but they're an important part of keeping everything ship-shape. The boss has to make sure that no one's thinking out of line, you know? So he gets everyone standing against the wall.
Yeah.
And old...
Where's this going?
Old Bob, no. Everyone's standing against the wall, right?
Yeah.
And old Bob, the caretaker.
Yeah.
He's kind of hunched back and leaned over, and he wheels the projector over to the first guy.
Yeah. Oh, like the sound of this.
Yeah. And he clicks the projector into place by connecting it into the guy's head.
Right.
And projected against the wall.
Wow. Actually, I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought it was going to project onto his head and like look inside. But this is good. So it's turned around and it's going to project. Okay.
Yeah. So it's projecting onto the opposite wall the guy's dreams.
Yep.
And the first person just had some nonsense dream about a giant bum floating through time and space while that Spanish guitar music plays. You know, the one that sounds all jolly.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
I think I know the one.
I can't remember how it goes specifically.
Yeah, lots of drums. Yeah, that's it.
So this bum floating through time and space is kind of floating along a street, like a Victorian street in this particular scene. And that was one of the first sightings of the bum, but it continues on through the future.
Right.
So
This is someone's dream.
This is someone's dream, yeah.
Yep.
So they're kind of like, well, you know, very nice, but
Yep.
we'll move on to the next person.
Yep.
And so he plugs it into person number 2.
Okay.
And again, stop it! Again, it's a dream about someone who's made of plasticine and how they make friends by kind of globbing onto them by saying, hello, do you want to be my best friend? Come in and have a look at this cake I've been making. It's got little piggies on it. You like piggies, don't you? Because this plasticine person has found out everything about their new, quote, friend before they've glommed onto them, you know? So
yeah, I think I know. This is just the second dream.
Yeah, this is the second dream.
And this dream is a sort of plasticine man?
Yes, plasticine person.
Person that's glommed onto them.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Oh, no.
I mean, that's what threw me.
This is like...
I'm very tired, so this is kind of dreamlike in itself. So he glommed onto them.
Yeah, it's a bit like when I told you when I said that your glasses were filthy and I said you've been grubbing over them.
Yeah. Is it a bit like that, or is it...
Well, it is a phrase. I'm sure I've heard it.
Yeah,
but basically,
yeah, but it could be. I've never heard of it, but
okay,
it could well be.
Basically, just stuck to the person, you know, like they're sort of like stuck and they're invading their space and all that stuff.
He's not literally stuck, but he's kind of a needy plasticine person.
Yeah.
Like needy.
Yeah,
clingy.
Clingy,
literally, physically clingy.
Yeah, but again, like they're plasticine and they have actually stuck onto them, but they're also needy and clingy.
Okay, yeah.
So Gilbert's really worried because he's never been through this before. He's quite new to the company. Everyone else seems to be taking it in their stride, and he's desperately racking his brains.
What did I dream
for dreams? About? Like he's worried that he's dreamed about the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And they're gonna find out.
Yeah.
And on down the line, caretaker Bob wheels this projector, and the boss is stood there going, "Marvellous, that's quite the thing, that's the ticket," you know, things like that.
Jolly good dream, chaps.
Yes, and then, you know, he gets to the person before, and it's about this tiny kitten who encourages people to commit acts of violence. And he says to the person before George, well, you may need to see me in my office and we'll have a little chat.
Sounds
ominous.
He does sound ominous, yeah. So I wouldn't like to be said that.
Absolutely not. So of course Gilbert is even more nervous, and then it's his turn. So caretaker Bob slides the USB into the port in Gilbert's head.
Okay, the projector connects via USB.
Yeah.
Okay, that's unusual. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You would use either like a HDMI or a white, red and yellow thing, whatever. You know, the old school ones. Okay, they're USB. Yeah, it might be one of them ones that them cheaper ones. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a cheap one. It's very expensive.
HDMI,
but, you
then I
know,
reckon. Probably.
USB. So he sticks. Things work different here.
Okay.
So he sticks the USB into Gilbert's head.
Yeah.
And projected on the wall
I can't bear it.
Scenes of rolling hills, pretty flowers, and birds singing in trees.
Okay.
And the boss says, "Oh, isn't that jolly? And Gilbert is extremely relieved.
They're very pleasant, your stories.
Oh, thank you.
They're very, very nice.
Oh, well, you see, if you read my actual published stuff, it's not so nice.
No.
And I feel like the stories that I actually tell myself and you, they're happy because I like to wrap myself in a blanket of,
Yeah, of nice things.
Yeah, because I know what the world is really like. I think so. Maybe that's why.
And it's like a nice release from writing all the
unpleasantness.
Yeah,
I think so. But the trouble is.
Okay, go on.
So he takes the USB out and continues, and the boss says, "Marvellous, Gary. Good job." And Gilbert thinks, my name isn't Gary. He doesn't even remember what my actual name is.
He just knows GG and assumes it's Gary or something.
Yeah, and the boss is like, "Oh, looking forward to the Christmas do. It's going to be marvellous. Everyone's going to have a brilliant time. Make sure you bring a bottle, blah, blah." And then it's over. And now that the relief has gone, Gilbert realises that his dream was extremely boring, and he's not subversive in any way, clearly. The fact that he doesn't know what he's doing at work is quite nerve-wracking, but at the same time he seems to be getting away with it. He doesn't know if that's going to be happening forever, but to then find out that you have such boring dreams, so he thinks, maybe I should do something subversive. Maybe it's a disappointment to myself that I'm not doing more stuff. So
all right,
so he goes back to his desk, and he presses a button that he is pretty sure will be out of sequence.
Right.
And
even though he doesn't know, he just maybe over the few days he's worked there, he kind of
he's noticed that there's
certain things.
Certain things
don't work.
Get him a green light, but other things are confusing.
Yeah.
So he presses a button that he thinks will be out of sequence.
Yeah.
And the red light comes up, and then he gets deducted a tenner. It says you are being deducted, and he thought, well, subversive or not, I don't really want that.
No.
So he decides to do his best at work for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And when he gets home, he thinks, maybe I should do something subversive, but then he switches the telly on. The end.
Oh, well done.
I
do. I like the kind of anticlimax at the end.
Yes.
Of the... No, I'm just going to carry on.
Yeah, no, I've got through another day. I'll just try and get through another one, which is basically what work is like. Unless you're, getting paid for the thing that you really love.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
But I haven't got anything planned at all.
Go on.
So pick a name.
Luminaire.
Could we have an easier name? Like shorter. Less taxi. Lou. Yeah. Okay, so
but
Lou.
It's Luminaire.
Is that a girl? Is that a girl or
they are
boy?
non-binary.
Oh, non-binary. Okay.
So it's they.
Yeah. So Lou.
Yeah.
What does she work as? What do they work as?
A dog groomer.
Okay, so Lou the dog groomer.
Yeah.
Goes to work, and the customer comes in with a pig. Right, and they.
Yeah.
So they.
Yeah.
So they say, that's a pig.
Yes.
And Madame. Well, they don't know her name. The lady.
Yeah.
The lady says, "I know it's a pig."
Yes.
And they say, "This is a dog groomer's."
Yeah.
And she says, "You mean you don't do pigs?" And they say, "Oh well, not really. But we can attempt to do a pig."
Yeah.
Okay, so she says, "Oh, jolly good, how much is that?" And they give a price of £100. And she says, "Oh, that's very good, the one down the road only charges £200, you're half the price, I hope it's as good." Check us out on Yale. Yeah. We're number 1. So, so she goes off happy, and the pig's there. Yeah. And the pig, Lou starts grooming the pig, and the boss comes in. Yeah. And says, "What's that?" She says, "It's the pig. It's a pig." And the boss says, "Well, we only do dogs, Lou." And she says, "Yeah, but she's very nice, and I thought, what's the harm? What's the difference?" And he says, "Well, there is harm. There's a lot of harm." And it sent chills down Lou's back. And he said, "But you carry on. If you think you want to break the rules, you carry on."
Oh, it's subversiveness again.
And then he closes the door slowly, like his head is poking through the door. And he slowly pulls his head out and closes the door really slowly.
Yeah. Pulls his head back in and closes the door slowly, you mean?
Pulls his head back.
Yeah. Puts his head out and closes the door.
Yeah.
Pulls his head back in and closes the door
back
slowly.
into where he's standing, yeah.
Yeah, not puts his head out and then shuts the door.
No, but out of where
That's cutting your own head off.
Yeah, but out of where Lou is.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah.
And back into where he is.
Yes.
Yeah. So depending on.
Okay, continue.
Right. So Lou's there with the pig. Yeah. And the pig says, "Your name's Lou," and she's like,
they.
Lou. Yeah, they. Lou. Lou just drops the thing in fright. And what did the pig say?
I can't remember.
"Your name's Lou."
Yeah.
"Your name's Lou." She drops the thing in fright. Lou drops the thing in fright.
Sorry.
And Lou says, yes. Why? You're a pig. Why are you talking to me? And it's like, well, it's one of 2 reasons, isn't it? Either 1, you're mad, or 2, I'm a talking pig." And they start thinking, well, okay, I mean, I've got to accept that it's one of them 2 things. I can't worry about it now. I've got to carry on. And she's okay, and she's shaving.
I'll just bury it. I'll just shove it down in my subconscious.
I don't want to deal with it.
Happening.
I might, if weird things start happening in the future, I might get looked at. Yeah. At the moment, I'll just have a check this. So how's this? How's your owner? And he's like, "I am not owned. I am looked after. Nobody owns me." Right. Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause offence." And it's like, "No, often people assume that I'm owned." Yes. And then she's finished the job, and he's like, "I do look rather pretty, don't I?" And
coiffured and bowing.
And she's still a bit worried. And then the little ring, ling, 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 ling. That's the door opening to the thing. And it's, "Hello, is my piggy ready?" And that's the woman. Yeah. And she brings the pig out, and she's like, "Oh, it looks wonderful." And it says, she says, she said, Madam, they said, Madam Buffon, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Does your, I've got a bit of an odd question, does your pig talk?
Mm-hmm.
And she's, what? And she's like, does your pig talk? She's, of course he doesn't talk. And she's like, well, I must be mad then.
Mm.
And as she leaves, and she's taking the pig, she swears that the pig sort of turns around and gives a little wink. So she's still not. They're still not quite sure. So she makes an appointment straight away and says to her boss, "Look, I'm feeling a bit off sorts."
Yeah.
And she goes to the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Or psychologist. I can never remember which one. Which one?
I think psychiatrists deal out medication, and psychologists are the ones that you talk to. I'm not entirely sure.
If that's the case, then it's a psychologist, and because they don't really want medication.
Yeah.
They just want to have a chat about the talking pig, and the psychologist says no. Basically, it's fine. Often what happens is, we've had this before, people that work in dog groomers, this woman.
Oh God, can you hear the dog sneezing? Yeah.
Woman.
What is that?
Just sneezing.
That's so loud for such a tiny thing.
So, he says, don't worry, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
This madame person loves freaking people out by taking her talking pig around dog groomers, trying to get them fired for
not grooming a pig.
Yeah, because the psychologist used to work in a dog groomers.
Oh, right.
And she done it to him, and he got fired and had to become a psychologist.
Right.
And
so his life went off track.
Yeah, he became a psychologist.
Yeah.
And so he knows the score.
Yeah.
Everyone
he knows
in the
her
village,
game.
Pretty much. Lots of people know the game. But she's only recently they've only recently moved to the area.
Yeah, so they don't know about the dog grooming.
About the pig owning, dog grooming, taking pig.
Subterfuge, lady pig.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
I like that.
That was called the Talking Pig
of the land
of Dagenham.
Talking pig of it works. Oh, well done. Okay, so that's Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime, and
it's 2 corkers for you.
Indeed, and I think I'm gonna have to take the dogs out, and Bibby's gonna have to go back to sleep. So goodbye.
Bye.
He jokes, but that is actually how he can fall asleep. He can lie down on the bed and just go to sleep. It really winds me up. I take ages to go to sleep.
I do go to sleep.
And he just lies down, and not even a minute later, you're snoring.
Yeah, a minute or two, I'm gone.
And then if something happens, like if there's a bang, or at the moment with the dogs, like if one gets up or something,
I start sneezing like that.
Yeah, he'll kind of wake up, and you can even talk to him, but then immediately after that he can just go back to sleep. It's just it's not normal.
No.
Anyway.
No. Should I get it looked at?
Okay, goodbye.